Alright, what's going on, y'all? This is BoxingWave. I'm back with another video discussing Floyd Mayweather and Guillermo Rigondeaux. Okay. I just want to tell you guys that I appreciate the comments you guys left. I've read all of the comments. A lot of comments were left for that video. Okay. The majority of the people that left comments for that video think that Rigondeaux is more technical between the two. I ended the video saying that I think Floyd gets the nod because he is more versatile than Rigondeaux. Okay, I know versatility and technical skills are two different things. All right, I will agree to that. But the reason why I gave Floyd the nod is because it was so close to call. And I gave him the nod because he was more versatile between the two. Okay, as far as technical skills, I could see why people pick Rigo, because Rigo basically he looks a little sharper on an offensive side. You know, I don't think he's more versatile, but he looks sharper at what he does. Okay, he seems a little bit more precise between the two. And you know what, I can see those two fight, and I can understand why people pick Rigo. Okay, not too many fanboy type comments. You know, there was some in there that was like, all right, this is a waste of a comment. Like, why even say this? You know, but some people left some really good comments in that video. And someone asked me at one of the most recent comments, someone asked me to do a second video if I could discuss who would actually win if they fought at Super Featherweight. Okay, which is still a weight class way above where Rigo fights right now. Alright, so I'm gonna get to that now. I'm gonna discuss a little bit more on the comments that I read, some of the few things that I read on there, and I just want to make one thing clear about the disadvantages of both fighters. Okay, and I mentioned this with Floyd. The problem I have with Floyd, if any problem, if I had to nitpick and find something about Floyd, I would have liked to see him fight more slick fighters. They don't have to be black. You know, I said blacks are fighters, but they don't have to be black. But I was making a point that Zab Judah was the last one. And the reason why and you guys follow my channel, you guys know I've always wanted to see the Erislandy Lara Floyd Mayweather fight. Those are my two top 5 favorite fighters. Top five favorite active fighters. And I always wanted to see how Floyd would do against a mover, a thinker, a precise puncher like Lara. Okay, I don't think Lara is as skilled as Rigondeaux, but I think he's the closest thing that you could get around at 147. Okay, that of a Rigondeaux. Okay, I think Rigondeaux is slightly a better boxer between him and Lara, but I would have loved to see Floyd fight a guy that's a thinker, that's also bigger than him as well. Okay, that moves better than him around the ring. I would have liked to see that, because we don't really see much of that from Floyd. Okay, we know the type of fighters he fight. He usually fight power punchers, guys that are aggressive. You know, we never really see him fight slick fighters. Okay, I think Zab Judah was the last slick fighter, and Zab Judah was actually beating him to the punch for quite some time, several rounds early in the fight. Now, the thing with Rigo that I brought up his inside game. I brought up the Cordoba fight. Okay, I brought up you know, how he got knocked down in that fight. He also got knocked down against Nonito Donaire. Both knockdowns were flash knockdowns. He was never badly hurt. Okay, but the thing about Rigo is that not only does he doesn't have the inside game. All right, and I think everyone could agree to that. I don't think anyone in the comments disagreed with that. Okay, this is why most people said that Floyd is more versatile. But another problem that I have with Rigo is that he's still so early in his professional career. We haven't seen him against so many styles yet. You know, I mean, Floyd, we haven't really seen him against a slick fighter in a while. But Rigo, we haven't seen him against a lot of styles in the ring, okay? Besides Donaire, he hasn't really fought any world-class fighters yet. I mean, Obeko is a good fighter, but I wouldn't put him as like on a world-class top level, whereas Floyd has fought several fighters that are on a different level. You know, Donaire is just one guy. Other than Donaire, I can't really compare any of the other fighters that Rigo has fought that you could compare with against the fighters that Floyd Mayweather has fought over his career. Why is the screen so dark? Right. So I just, you know, that's the only issue that I have with Rigo. We still have a lot to learn, you know. We don't know if he can make the type of adjustments that Floyd has. I mean, he's been able to make adjustments against the guys that he's fought up to this point, but he hasn't fought the guys that Floyd has fought yet. Okay, we've seen Floyd had tough times in the ring before, but he's made the adjustments. All right, and other than maybe Castillo, I haven't seen Floyd lose to anyone the second half of the fight. You know, Castillo was the only fighter that I remember him. I might have thought that Floyd only barely won that fight because he got a quick head start earlier in the fight, but Castillo started fighting better as the fight progressed. Okay, so who would I think wins at super featherweight? Okay, well, that's difficult because Rigo is a lot smaller. Okay, if we're gonna take size away from it, it's a hard argument to make because we say that Rigo is more powerful, right? I think we can all agree that Rigo appears to have the more punching power, even though Floyd was knocking guys out a lot more often than he is when he was back down at 130. Rigo it seems like it appears that he has a more punching power. Now, once he starts fighting guys like Donaire or Becco, it's going to be harder for him to knock out guys. Once the competition goes up, it's going to be harder to knock out guys. So I can't really give him the nod for power. And then I don't know if him and Floyd are fighting in the same weight class. Is his power is it going to be as effective as it is down at 122 where he's at? I mean, Rigo does have power, but the guys that we were knocking out, they weren't really good. Okay. The three best guys he fought, you know, Cordoba, Donaire, Becco, he didn't knock any of those guys out. Okay, he did drop Cordoba, but Cordoba won the second half of that fight to me, you know, or gave him a hard time in the second half of the fight, let me say that. And he was also able to knock Rigo down as well. We just haven't seen enough, you know. Now, as far as the fight itself, Floyd would have a hard time fighting him on the outside. Okay, neither fighter they both have jabs, but they don't make a big use to the jab. Okay, they don't dedicate themselves to the jab. Rigo's first, I would say his best punch is the straight left. Okay, that's the punch that he's usually hurting guys and knocking them out in, other than the right hook. Okay, because the right hook is up there too with that. But I would say the straight left. I mean, he goes straight left crazy, like I said before. Floyd's best punch on the outside is probably the lead right that he throws, okay? He throws the lead right and ducks. You know, that's probably one of his best counter punches. All right? Between those two punches, I don't know. You know, I say Rigo's left, straight left is the more powerful punch because he knocks people out with that punch. But Floyd is so good at countering people with that lead right that he throws. You know, he's so efficient with that punch. It would be a tough fight. It would be a challenge for the both of them. I think Floyd would definitely have a harder time on the outside, except when he's throwing that punch. On the inside, Floyd gets it hands down. Okay, Floyd gets it hands down. Mid-range, it's also tough to call. You know, they both have a variety of weapons. I think Floyd has more of a variety between the two. Mid-range, but you know, Rigo got, you know, the hooks that he throws are so powerful. You know, it's just, you know, the thing is, I can't say Floyd has never fought anyone as technical as Rigo, But Rigo has never fought anyone on a level as Floyd neither. You know, it would be tough to call. But I think Floyd's biggest advantage is the inside game. Okay? And Floyd has made the adjustments. If they were to fight, honestly, I would pick Floyd because he's always found a way to adjust to his opponent. And he's fought more of a variety of fighters with different style, a variety of styles. Okay? Whereas Rigo, he hasn't really fought too many guys, man, you know. What does he have, 14 fights? He's been dropped twice already. You know, we gotta see him fight Santa Cruz, you know. I don't know if he's ever gonna fight guys like Scott Quigg or Carl Frampton, or I don't know if he's ever gonna fight guys at 126. Is he ever gonna move up and fight those guys? We know he's small. He's even small at 122. Is he ever gonna go up and fight those guys? Okay, is he gonna fight a Nicholas Walters? You know, can he? Well, how would he do in that fight? You know, a guy that has a lot of power, like real power. Is he gonna ever fight Lomachenko? You know, Lomachenko looked great against Gary Russell Jr. You know, Lomachenko is so much bigger than him. How is he gonna do when he fights guys that are much bigger than him? We seen Floyd fight guys that's much bigger than him. We seen Floyd fight guys that we all thought that Floyd was gonna get knocked out by because they have so much power and they're gonna be so much more aggressive. We just haven't seen that from Rigo yet. It's still a lot to learn. So right now, if they're in the same weight class, you know, I mean, if you give Floyd, you know, a few more pounds, you know, this is like imagine hypothetically, like this is an imaginary discussion here. Like, let's say Floyd has a slight height advantage. I mean, he has a height advantage already, but let's say he has a slight weight advantage. Okay, will Rigo's power be as effective? I don't think so. I don't think his power will be as effective against a fighter like Floyd. Okay, he's found ways to neutralize the power with a lot of guys that he fight. Another thing people brought up, Rigo intimidates the fighters that he fights. It's not pretend like Floyd hasn't intimidated the fighters that he's fought. There's plenty of fighters that were hesitant to throw shots at Floyd, you know, when they got in the ring because they didn't want to get countered. Okay, a lot of fighters that are normally pressure fighters or very aggressive, they were a lot more hesitant after they started getting countered. I mean, look at the Shane Mosley fight. Look at that fight. You know, Shane came out swinging. You know, first round I thought he won. Second round he hurt Floyd a couple of times. After he started getting countered, Shane slowed down. You know, he didn't want to get hit. He was flinching. You know, Floyd would throw feints and Shane was flinching. He didn't want to get hit. You know, and then you got to compare once again. You got to compare. These guys are, a lot of guys that Rigo has fought up to this point, they were, you know, you saw some fear in them guys. You know, some of them had some fear. But you got to remember, there's different levels here of the fighters, the opposition that they face. You can't really compare, you know. So you got to, you know, if they were to actually fight, I would give it to Floyd because I know what Floyd is going to bring in all types of situations. You know, I admit that he never has fought a fighter like Rigo before. So it will be difficult. It will be tough. And like I said earlier, when he was getting outboxed, all right, and Zab was beating him to the punch, he found a way to make the adjustments even against a fighter that was quicker than him. Okay. And he was able to win all of the remaining rounds after that. All right. I don't know if Rico could do the same, especially on a fighter on Floyd's caliber. I don't know if he's able to do that. So I would give it to Floyd. I'm not going to say it by knockout or decision. You know, if they were to fight, you know, I would actually bet on Floyd to win that fight. Okay. But that could be a fight that Floyd loses, you know, at the same time. You know, if anyone loses or beats Floyd, it would take someone on Rigo's level of skill. All right. So that's my thoughts. Subscribe to the channel and make sure you leave comments. Peace.